Welcome to Gaia Dairy Farming Insights, the infotainment podcast for the Dairy Farming Network. Join our community that takes you on a journey through the vastness of milk production, your source of knowledge and inspiration in every episode.
Welcome to a new episode of the Dairy Farming Insights podcast. My name is Maren Lüth, and I'm happy to welcome you to a complete series of manure handling topics. Today we will be starting with our colleague Christopher Strach. Hi, Christopher.
Thanks, Maren, for having me today. My name is Christopher and I've been with Gaia for 2 years now. I'm a product manager for manure equipment, which means I take care of everything related to manure handling.
All right, so this is exactly the topic we want to dive into today. And normally, of course, manure is something which the value of is not recognized that much. But in the meantime, of course, manure and all the benefits which are in the manure have become more famous. So we want to dive into this topic. And why is this topic of manure handling such an important one from your perspective?
Well, let's keep it simple. Manure isn't just waste. It's full of valuable nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, plus a lot of good organic stuff in your soil. But there is the thing. If you don't handle it right, it can cause big problems. We are talking about polluting water, releasing bad gases like methane, and even damaging your fields over the time. So how do we turn manure from a problem into a resource? It starts with 3 key steps: stirring it up, mixing it well, and moving it. What we call agitation, homogenization, and pumping. These are the unsung heroes that make sure manure is ready for the next steps, like separation or spreading.
Let's stop a little bit with this first step that you mentioned, the agitation, and it is really one of the most important things to really prepare the manure in the right way. So why is agitation that important?
Imagine your manure pit. After a while, the heavy stuff sinks to the bottom, the liquid floats on the top, and what you've got is a mess. You can't pump it properly, and your nutrients are all over the place. That's where agitation comes in. Agitation means getting in there with the right equipment to steer things up, breaking up the solids and mixing. Today's tools make the job easier. Submersible agitators, propeller mixers, and tractor-mounted agitators. They save time, cut labor, and get the job done fast. If you skip agitation, you're not just making pumping harder, you're actually throwing away nutrients your crop could use. These solids at the bottom, that's where the good stuff is.
So, okay, agitation to avoid that the heavy stuff sinks to the bottom. But how now to create a balanced mix? So what is the importance of homogenization now to really make sure the stuff is good mixed between liquid and solid?
So you've stirred up the pit and loosened everything. So what's next? Homogenization. That just means making sure the slurry going into your pump or tanker is nicely mixed and consistent.
And why is this important?
Because when the mix is uniform, every load has the same nutrition content. That means your crop gets exactly what they need. Your spreading goes smoother and you are less likely to clog up your equipment. Homogenization also makes the next steps, like separation, a whole lot easier when solids and liquids are already well mixed. Separating them is faster, cleaner, and more efficient. We'll dive into separation in more detail in our upcoming podcast. In many setups, agitation and homogenization happen together. You've got tools like vertical, shaft mixers, circulation pumps, or centrifugal systems doing the hard work, especially in bigger or more automated farms.
That's very interesting. But many farms also work with a digester for biogas. So how's the situation on those farms?
Homogenization is a must. A steady, well-mixed feed means better gas production and fewer issues in the digester. It's all about keeping the system running smoothly and getting the most out of your manure.
So really a must, you would say.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so we have been through agitation, homogenization. So all elements in the manure are well mixed, but how do you now get the manure where it needs to go? So let's get to the topic of pumping.
Yes, so your manure is mixed, full of nutrients and ready to use. Now it's time to move it. Sounds easy, But pumping manure is actually one of the trickiest parts of the whole process.
Why is that?
Because manure isn't water. It's heavy, thick, and full of surprises, fibers, sand, and even bits of feed. If your pump can't handle that, you're in for clogs, breakdowns, and a lot of frustration. That's why the right pump makes all the difference. Here are the main types. Centrifugal pumps, they are great for thinner manure and longer distance. Positive displacement pumps, built for thicker stuff and more solids. And chopper pumps, they are perfect when there's a lot of fibrous materials that needs to be chopped up before moving. Picking up the right pump isn't just about horsepower. It depends on your farm layout, how thick manure is, and what you are planning to do with it. Irrigate, inject, or haul it away.
So we learned that all these steps from agitation, homogenization, and pumping needs to go hand in hand. So of course, an equipment that fits to each other, that stacks together, is important on a farm. Let's talk a little bit about return on investment and the efficiency of that whole investment that a farmer needs to do.
Yes, of course. So when agitation, homogenization, and pumping work all together, you're getting the most out of your manure. More and more farms are using integrated systems that automate mixing and pumping, monitor how thick the manure is, and even track nutrition level. Sure, the setup costs something, but the payoff is big. Less need for synthetic fertilizer, better crop yields, and staying in line with the environmental rules. With smart manure management, some farms replace up to half of their chemical fertilizer. That's not just good for the soil, it's good for your wallet.
So it's definitely worth to take a deep look into this topic and start calculating on details. Very good. Well, in the end, with all that professional equipment, we also do something good for the environment. So doing the right thing, apart from using nutrients in a good way, what else is beneficial?
You're right, Maren. It's not just about saving money. Managing manure the right way also means protecting your land, your water, and the environment. With smart targeted pumping, you avoid over-applying and keep nutrients where they are needed, in the soil, not in the waterways. In some areas, especially where nitrate leaching or phosphorus buildup is a concern, good manure management isn't just a good idea, it's a law. So having solid plan in place keeps you compliant and protect your farm's future.
And I think this is definitely what every farmer and everybody is looking forward to. So yeah, very good overview. And thank you for those details. If we look into the GEA portfolio, I suppose GEA is offering all of these equipments that you just mentioned.
Yes, we have all equipment to work in the barn and getting the manure out of the barn into the fields. So we have different kind of pumps, scrapers, agitators, and also spreaders and separation, which we will talk in the next episodes, right, Maren?
We will do so. Perfect. So if you are more interested to dig into the details of what GEA can offer, just reach out to your GEA dealer and he will be able to give you very good advice. But Christopher, what would be your final takeaways when it comes to the topic of mastering manure agitation, homogenization, and pumping?
So let's wrap it up with the key points. Agitation breaks down solids and helps balance nutrients. Homogenization gives you a consistent mix, perfect for spreading or biogas. Pumping gets your slurry where it's need to go, quickly, safely, and without clogging. No matter if you run a small family farm or a big dairy operation, when you get these 3 steps right, manure stops being a problem and starts becoming a real asset.
That's the perfect last sentence. And Christopher, thank you so much for giving us these insights, for taking us into the world of manure handling, and we are eager to learn more in our next episode. So
thank you for having me, Maren.
Thank you, everybody out there, and see you next time.
Follow us on our social media platforms to stay updated and subscribe to our podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. If you have questions, suggestions, or even ideas for future topics, feel free to reach out. Join us soon for another exciting episode as we continue to explore the world of farming and the people behind it. Until then, keep farming and growing.